everyone. It's a cold November. Hope everything is fine from your side. I'm here today again talking about Total Materia, which is online last 25 years. So I'm here to support your material research activities. If material is an issue, we are connecting engineers to material information. You can contact us anytime. My name is Zaim. I'm working almost 7 years in Total Materia so far, and well, here is what Total Materia in generally founded in 1999. We have more than 70 employees here in R&D center in Belgrade, Serbia. Our headquarters is in Switzerland, Zurich, and it's a multinational companies. We have an office in Canada, Germany, Italy, China, and Japan, as well as so many partners we have worldwide. As you can see on the left upside, where our users are coming usually, and almost all around the world, right? We have a lot of users from Europe and North America and South America, even in Australia. So if you're an engineer, if the material is an issue, as you can see, world's industry leaders are using Total Materia. It's been 25 years. We are collecting all this material informations from you to provide you the most accurate material information to be the one of these industry leader on the world. So basically, we are providing only reliable digitalized data, and you can manage internal materials information with Total Materia. We have enterprise integration, including Horizon is providing simulation softwares, material cards that you can export directly over 25 different simulation format. And we have PLM ERP integrations. If you want to know more about it, you can contact us because we are connecting not only engineers and platforms as well as you're using different platforms in your workflow. We have AI tools, which is a predictor. I'm calling it a test simulator. Well, because so many materials information are not provided by standards or uh, material cards, but you need those information for your simulations or material selection. Our AI tool predictor can give you this material information in seconds. And compliance and sustainability information also worldwide. That's very important. I am going to give you the details, but what is the material selection process, right? It's starting with material selection, either it is a mechanical, machinery engineer or material engineer are choosing the material. You're going to make the simulations with that. You can use all these material cards from Total Materia with your simulations softwares. Remember, we are a Swiss company, so we're neutral to all other producers. You can use Total Materia material cards with different simulations at the same time. And quality engineers are checking if it's the right quality material or reverse engineering. It's also, we have very useful tools for that. But you choose the material, you check everything is fine, but what about where to get it, right? So supplier or supply chain purchasing department needs a lot of information to find different producers or suppliers for this. And sustainability, your carbon footprint is important, and finding greener materials for production, right? And compliance. If it's not compliant, then wow, you need to start all over for this process. Well, what Total Materia is doing to make sure that you're doing the right thing in each steps. Not a classic way, but you have a lot more to solve, right? So what we are offering, Horizon, which is available for anyone who wants to try as a free trial. Free trial gives you 5 sessions and limited access to Total Materia. But if you want to test whole Total Materia Horizon and full version for Total Materia, you can contact us as our providing technical support, our engineering team providing technical support and training for the our users. We are providing also technical support and training for the users, test users, free trials, anyone who wants to know more about Total Materia. We have integrator, where you can create your own internal database, platform connectivity, PLM, ERP connections, remember, and Predictor is an AI tool. That's the simulator. And green line is all about choosing green materials and carbon footprint, LCA, so on. Departments and people we help basically as material selection process, starting with material engineer. But in the first beginning of this process, you better check these materials are compliant or not. Otherwise, you might need to repeat this process again to find another compliant or greener material, right? And from the beginning of this process, you'll be able to find the best suitable material, durable, according to mechanical, physical properties, or so many different aspects. And at the same time, make sure that this is the compliant material that you're looking for. Then quality check and reverse engineering and supply chain, purchasing departments, sales and application engineer can use. In the same time, simulation and CAD manufacturing team can use these material cards with so many different solutions, right? So it's very important all these departments to talk to each other with the same language, same material cards, same material groups, same material list, and Total Materia is a must for precision engineering. Like, we have some use cases from automotive industry here. I'm giving you some example, and these companies are global companies worldwide. They're making production. They're producing high-end products. So there's no place for mistake. But there is another industry where there's no place for mistake, if you'll agree, oil and gas industry, which is probably I can show you the slide. SOCAR is our user, and like Shell, Texaco, any Total, so many oil and gas companies are using Total Materia just for precision, right? So you need to plan your maintenance activities, you need to justify your material selections. All these processes are uh, possible with Total Materia, and they're actually very happy to use Total Materia. And every year we are growing more and more engineers are using Total Materia from Soccer. This is just an example where you can find inside our new web page references. We have worldwide thousands of users, small companies or offices to industry leaders, right? So where there is no place for mistake, like aerospace, oil and gas, and so many different industries, like material selection is simple and very much similar, because when you want to select the material, accurate material for your design, you need to check the mechanical, physical properties of the material, and at the same time fabricability, cost and availability, and corrosion resistance, and so many different aspects, right? And it's a little bit more complex than it is. At the same time, you might need higher or lower temperature rates or properties of these materials. It's more and more complex. You need to fix a lot of stuff. You need to check again your design if it's right. But basically, if it's hot or cold forming material, is it suitable for production? And what heat treated material that we are talking about is important. You will be able to find all these details under the same material card in Total Materia: matrix structure, grain size, composition, alloying elements, and welding information, so many more. Each individual uh, bolt that you're using, you need to be check again and again. Engineering stress strain, two stress strain, and hardness of the material, toughness of the material, and then effect of thicknesses of the material is affecting mechanical physical properties, obviously. So you need to check again and again to make sure you're choosing the right material from the right material groups, right? So that's how all these industry leaders, including aerospace uh, industry leaders, are using Total Materia just for that. But it doesn't mean that it's just too expensive solution. By the way, I told you we have different licenses options. So even if you're a user, please advise your friends to start using Total Materia from today. We'll be happy to help them as well as we are helping Virgin Galactic, for instance, you know, the aerospace leader, and they are happy to share their experience with all materia. They solve their material problems with us, right? So this is basically starting with Horizon. Horizon is where you can try for free, test for free. You can ask for technical support. I'm sure I can see so many of our users here today with us, and they will be able to use Horizon for material selection, material identification, to find the global equivalence of those materials, sharing and exporting options, advanced properties, and they are using as a reference data at least, right? We have a lot of options. We have over 500,000 material recently. It's 571,000 material according to the latest update, because every month content is updating. We are finding new materials, new material information, uh, 80 plus global standards, which is 83 right now, if I'm not wrong. And because when I started working for Total Materia, it was 58, then 62, 63, 65, and 83 right now. And we're updating all this standard information as well, and combining all this materials information with materials data sheets from local and global producers, precision tool for comparison and analytics tasks, streamlining the selection process, stress strain curves for mobility, fatigue, creep, and fracture mechanics data. You will be able to export more than 25 different simulations easily when you can have Total Materia access. Well, basically, this is the platform, basic Horizon platform. You can see we have different data modules here: quick search, advanced search, standard list, material discovery, where you can search material from material designation, numerical or alphanumerical designation, where you can filter the type of the material, which we have more than 4,000 added to material, and material groups you can filter. You can filter standard, or you can check directly producers name. Like here is an example: 304 American Standard material, kilogram price of the material, or this right hand side information including material description to supplier information are belong to this material anymore. You can find a lot of information about the same material. Joints, for instance, 274 different welding information, SN curves, right? Stress life parameters, and isochrone stress strain, allowable stress, and isocorrosion test data of the material. Very important for maintenance operations to calculate precisely. You have elevated minus temperature and the references data here, where you can find when and which standards are covering what information. Heat treatment of the material, forms of the material are giving you different mechanical physical properties, obviously, and dimensions. Like we have chosen different sheet metals or wires in different dimension will give us different properties. Obviously, you need to have all this detailed information about this material with the references. Always you'll be able to reach the reference uh, of this information, where we find it, where you can compare, and these are only accurate information. With one click, you can use ANSYS, Abacus, CATIA, SolidWorks, Siemens, Enix, any software that you're using. With a couple of clicks, choosing correct, careful selection, you can use this material card into your software. Cross-reference is the one of the most used case scenario in Total Materia. You have a one AC American Standard material. You want to find the global equivalence, like let's say find the GB Chinese standard equivalence. We have 10 different options. With one click, you can compare. You can save this file as a PDF, you know, and you get the accurate information to make sure that you're choosing the right alternative material. You can create a material list from these materials. You can just name on it GB equivalents of 3 or 4, let's say. You know, you have more options, you have more producers now, you have a lot of different supplier information that you can find. And here's the advanced search for the advanced users. Basically, you can filter the material groups if you want. You can click check some mechanical, physical properties, the minimum values that you can add, and you'll be able to find a durable material according to your design. You can save the searches. You can load these searches here. We choose one material. Basically, I want to show you. We want GB or DIN standard material. We want this material to be structural and constructional steel. And we want the yield strength value minimum 300 megapascal and tensile strength minimum 500 megapascal. We want impact strength to be 40 joule minimum and modulus of elasticity 190 minimum. So we want a durable material. Oh, we had 500,000 material. Now we have 19 materials only, GB and DIN standards. So these materials are only okay for you to use in your design. You can still check these materials tensile strength, which one is better for you, which one is more durable, which one is stronger, which one is lighter, which one is cheaper, which one is better, basically. So you can compare this material side by side, up and down, and you can forward this material list to your analytics screen to find different aspect, and you can compare these materials in different way, like up to 5 different properties in the same time. Or you can check which one is more suitable for your design. This is advanced search, and where you can also forward this material list to your compliance assessor to check if these materials are compliant according to different regulations, right? If they're not compliant, you have nothing to do. You need to find another one. But the smart comp is very different online since 2007. This is our patented algorithm from chemical composition of the material you'll be able to define, or you just check one of these materials as reverse engineering actions, right? We have quality mode, we have standard and expert mode. When you check this chemical composition of this material, and Total Materia is able to tell you since 2007 what material it is. This is our basically material content, over 83 standards organization, including 39,000 standards local and thousands of producers data sheet real materials. Some of these producers are making production according to these standards, but they name their own material in different way. So it's very easy to find the equivalence and the same material, or according to mechanical physical properties, something very similar, right? Especially in polymers. according to my experience, so many of our users are just checking the polymers equivalence, local equivalence. So our very important solution, one of them, integrator, where you can create your own internal database, basically. This is connecting our world with yours. You can connect your CRM, ERP, PLM systems, where you will be able to access full version of Horizon, and you can use them together, right? Together we are stronger. And you have reference data in Horizon. You have global alternatives. You have material selection options, identification, joys and welds. All this information you can use from Horizon. You can copy all these material cards, but only the approved materials, because maybe you don't need 500,000 of material, but some of them are very critical. You can copy these material cards, you can create new material cards, you can add these materials, test in information, like you can set your user management for who to see what material information. And this is very important for security policies. Your substances compliance info, you can add the test data as you're doing some tests for this material. You can integrate PLM simulation, API integration options that we have on cloud or on site. You can use online version of integrator, or you can integrate into your server. Well, BOM assessment, bill of material, you can check. And this is the legacy and simulation data, all this information that you can copy from Horizon to integrator, basically. And this is basically MLM, material lifecycle management, one step further than using only Horizon. Because material engineer have access to Horizon. Let's say you have green line access to check your carbon footprint or compliance information about this material. You're filling the blanks with predictor, test simulator. Still, you have in a lot of work to do in material labs. Internal data you generated so many files like Excel, PDF, and they're everywhere. So when you approve these materials, you need to filter all this material. You can copy inside your MLM, Material Lifecycle Management System integrator. When you copy and filter all this information, this will give you ability to use all this information to your PLM system. You can use this material information with your design software, simulation software, engineering software, anything you're using. And this is actually connecting to digital world to the real world, right? So it helps a lot. It makes all this process shortened. That's what Virgin Galactic was talking about. We had a lot of problems, and we solved all these material information problems with Total Materia integrator, basically, and your system to fit your users. And we have user management, as I told you. This is how it looks like, exactly the same as Total Materia. Uh, you won't have problem to get used to it, right? So you have your own materials. Some of these user can access all material at the same time if you want. Admins and super admins can decide this. And in your internal standard material, you have this information. Basically, this is your own material. No one but only your company can have access. As you can see, this user have a lot of information about this material, but cannot see the certain diagrams. Maybe other user cannot see the composition. Maybe other user cannot see the heat treatment, or can see only the supplier information. But this is the most important part, the documents. You can add so many files, different files, can be special processes and any other additional data that you want to add here. Here's the date And here's who added this material information basically to track. So it gives you precision. You know, for precision engineering, Total Materia is a must-have, obviously. That's why a lot of industry leaders are using Total Materia for years. And basically, you can create any material card from the beginning, or you can copy from Total Materia some material cards into your system, and you can edit them. You can add your test data or anything you want. Or if you want to check some more rich material information, like, okay, Inconel 718 is a popular material. We have internal one, and we have Korean standards, and some producers are using, and some SAE and UNS standards materials as well. This is for aerospace, as you know, and you want to find some suppliers for this material, you'll be able to check in Total Materia. You can filter this information into your system so that your procurement engineers will be able to find the alternative suppliers that you define for this material. You can create from the beginning, or you know, you can edit all this materials information. You can create material groups, you can create properties, you can add any test data you have. For instance, you can add supplier information for this material, or any parameters you want to add, or references, or whatever you want. So bulk export option will give you ability to export all these material cards and one certain different simulation software that you're using. So that'll be a win situation basically. And that was integrator. And I am impatiently waiting for you to listen to this. This is Predictor. This is amazing tool. This is AI tool. You know, we are in AI era. Uh, I'm sure so many of you guys are using ChatGPT or something to get some information very short time, right? And they're reliable information. They're very intelligent as predictor, because making these calculations, right, accurate calculations, you need references where ChatGPT or other sources are using World Wide Web, and they're going everywhere getting all this information. But accurate material information, you need a reliable source where Total Material Predictor have all horizon information, more than 570,000 materials, over 25 million records of this material, right? We have a lot of reference to make accurate calculations. Basically, this is how predictor works, and this is how predictor can give you accurate results. And it's a little complicated calculation system. Don't ask me to explain all these details how this calculation method is working. Well, basically, Dower and Tanya will explain you in details if you really want to know how this calculation are working. Well, we have designation and composition works in selecting models and define parameters, temperature dependency, or whatever you want to achieve at the end, and result is coming in seconds with the confidence. We're using metallic materials and non-metallic materials to fill the gaps, basically. And step one, you're choosing designation of the material. Let's say one designation material, there are some properties are missing. You want to get some selection for the model and set up additional model inputs, which Tool Material Predictor is helping you according to what property you want to choose, and gives you a couple of options. And then in seconds, AI is telling you the properties basically, or you can get in different alloys, as you can see, including polymers. With the chemical composition, you will be able to uh, get predictions for mechanical properties. We are providing hardness predictions, tensile strength, yield strength predictions. For the physical properties, We are providing density, heat capacity, models of elasticity, shear modulus, thermal conductivity, thermal expansion, and volume resistivity so far, and including fatigue strength and stress strain curves that you can generate with predictor. Well, this is how it works. You have a material, you can type the designation or you can choose the composition of the material, pressing the next step and selecting the material basically. Then choose the property. What property you want to predict here. And you want a temperature dependent, let's say. You see, algorithm offers you, this is the best calculation method according to selection. And basically, you're choosing the plates for thickness 20 millimeters and heat treatment of the material will be affect the result definitely because you want some accurate information, right? Like not just regular estimations. You got to make some calculations. You are going to use this info for your simulations, maybe, right? And result generates in seconds, as I just mentioned, and you can get this save points. You have all this detailed information in different temperature range. You can add this graph comparison. Here you can see basically we're making the same predictions for the same material, but here is the T8 heat treatment 7075, same material and the same form, same thickness, but this time we have T73. I mean, two different heat treatments of this material, how it's affecting and minus temperature, especially when it's so cold. You see the T8 gives you a little bit higher real strength. If it's T73 and minus temperature, you have very much lower yield strength value. So when you are making accurate calculations like aerospace industry, defense industry, oil and gas and machinery, heavy machinery, automotive, all this detailed information, precise calculations that you are generating in seconds. So you don't need to waste a lot of money and you don't need to wait for temperature dependent tests for weeks or months, you know. Predictor is giving you the results in seconds, basically. And if the issue is finding the greener material, here is Total Materia green line for you. You can check the compliance of this material, equivalence, restricted substances, bomb assessment, LCA, carbon footprint calculations, sustainable material selections, right? Here is the proudly announced we are our primary source of data coming from EcoInvent. Well, Greenline is helping a lot of industry leaders as well as you would like to see your carbon footprint, how these materials are affecting their life cycle assessment or checking your materials compliance ability. As you can see, we are covering more than 300 and up-to-date global regulations covering REACH rules as well as regional, federal, and state inventories. So this is huge and this is so beautiful to make sure whatever you're doing is reaching the up-to-date information. We have Green Line team as well as we have Predictor team, Integrator team separately, and ready to help, ready to give you all these details, how you can compare your material list according to 5 different regulation at the same time, but we are covering over 300 different regulations that you can check your material list, and the sustainability parameters we cover, raw material extension, manufacturing, process, transportation, use, and end of life information. We are helping engineers to find a greener material basically, and this is how carbon footprint actually works. I would like to show you an example. Maybe you would like to see how you can get information about your carbon footprint, how these materials that you're using for production is affecting your carbon footprint. Manufacturing process, you can select the recycle amount of these materials, right? And moving to the next step, process information, you can select the processing and the country region processing and remote material to understand how it affects accurately for your carbon footprint and where these materials are coming from. You know, you can type like sea container ship, 6,200 kilometers, and then it comes by truck, lorry. You can choose Euro 6 truck, right? In 500 kilometers, and then it reached to the destination for production and make the calculation. You will be able to see 4.455. Well, basically, it is greener than the others. And you can see which materials that you're using are, heavily, and which one of those materials are greener than the others, basically. And these calculations will give you a very good reference point for you to start decreasing your carbon footprint, starting with materials. Here, you want to find something equivalent with Chinese standard, let's say. I want to see something and with the same parameters to find something a little greener, right? You see, that easy it is for you to find the greener material. And you can export this work to the Excel file for you to understand how these materials are affecting to your carbon footprint. We have compliance SSR. Simply, you have materials, you can check one by one or a group of material at the same time with compliance SSR. Okay, we have list of materials here. I'm adding this list to the compliance SSR. That's it. I want to check reach, rows, and at the same time up to 5 different regulations to see this material list are compliant according to different regulations, right? We have a problem here. It shows you some red points. No, it's not compliant according to none of these regulations. All right, so what am I gonna do? Here is an example. Okay, I want something. What is the problem? Oof, BB, that's a little higher than what is okay. And even though you see some polymers which is not provided their chemical composition, but they need to provide the compliance information for their materials. So with one click, I want to see EN equivalents and compliant according to this regulations. I have two candidates. You see, I have two candidates. Basically, okay, it says, well, yeah, choose the right standard material, not 1998, 2018 standards. Save it. And this information will give you and your procurement and purchasing department and everyone have a valuable information when you're choosing the material for production, when you're checking this material according to standards or, all this information to make sure that you're doing right thing and you won't have any problem. So better safe than sorry. This is how it helps. You have saved list of material, basically compliant. That's it. It's very easy to use. If you want to test Total Materia green line, always welcome, but not just few materials here. We have bomb bill of materials, can be like 500 materials, can be thousands of materials in the same time. And you see, you're just typing who did this bomb assessment, who have this material informations here, and what standards materials that you're using in the same time. What are those materials? Detailed information, and you can export this template. You can fill with your material information. Now you have bill of material here. Well, basically, this is how you can show and check if these materials are compliant according to different regulations, but bill of material can be huge list, right? It will be very hard to check one by one, and you gotta make sure that you're doing the right thing, you're using the right material, compliant material, and all you need to add the regulations to elevate. Here, there's a little settings before you start. Material type custom, material designation here. Here you see original material here, CDA, and you start adding the regulations. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You can add different regulations in the same time. We have up to 300 different regulations here. We have problem, not compliant. What is the problem? You can easily check where is the problem, what materials are not compliant according to what. Basically, you have the list. You can apply. You see, basically origin of these materials had a problem. You can compliant by producers to make sure that you're doing the right thing. Here's a chemical composition problematic part. You will need to check, double check these materials to find the compliant alternatives in seconds. And you can access your bill of material again to find the greener one and compliant one according to up-to-date information. You can export this bill of material, which is checked this date, and it is compliant according to your BOM assessment. You see the details, need to be very careful next time, right? Total Materia here is here to help. We have life cycle assessment right before the carbon footprint calculations. You have still list of materials and different calculations methods, obviously, how it affects the ecosystem health, human health, natural resources. You can check this material and different calculations method. Here's more material informations, and I'm choosing different calculations methods to see how it affects the climate change and how energy demand and how it affects the freshwater exoticity. And with one pinpoint, you will be able to see the greener or non-greener material that you're using. With one click, you can check and change this material with the greener ones, basically. And a lot more to talk about green light, basically. So here's the horizon. You can test for free version. Here's the integrator. Additionally, you can create your internal material solution. Predictor is AI tool. You can add on to your horizon access easily. Just talk to your account manager and call and send us an email or message, anyone, anything, any way you want to contact. And if you want to check the green line, test the green line, even if you're a user, if it is, even if it's not including your license access, don't worry, we're here to help. Just let's understand your needs and assess our solutions, test it basically, get training and ask your technical questions, and contact us to book a demo. This is basically what Total Materia is doing worldwide online last 25 years. Well, if you have any question, please feel free to ask. Hope you like all these informations. And please send me your questions if you have any questions, because basically I do have a question for you. Well, I would like to ask uh, which solutions you interested more, right? If you can just click one of these solutions more interesting for you, that would be awesome. And yes, AI tool predictor can be used for resins and thermoplastics. We have a lot of thermoplastics inside all material. We have some resin informations too. And in the same time, you can add some chemical composition. Through the chemical composition, it is going. Basically, you know how it works, Mr. Kumar. It is working and continuously upgrading and updating. We had we are adding, our predictor team is adding some new functionalities in predictor, and in the same time we are training the algorithm, right? So it's very well trained in some particular materials. Well, starting with aluminiums, it takes time, but aluminiums are perfect. And then steels, and then high carbon steels, and then it goes to polymers and detailed. But in if you type the designation of the material, if it's in Total Materia, you will be able to get this predictions easily. And if it's not, yes, sure, you will be able to get this material information, because actually, if it's not there, we will be able to add this material information. Okay, would you like to test full version of Total Materia? If you say yes, I will send you an email. Okay, please put me on a safe list in case if you see my emails on your junk email box or something. Well, I am just here to help you. Remember, uh, we are helping industry leaders and engineering community over 20 years, 25th years of Total Materia right now, and hopefully we'll be able to help you more and more. Thank you very much for your answers. And here's my mobile number. Basically, if you're using WhatsApp, just say my number, my name, Total Materia Zaim, and send me your technical questions or demands or anything you want to know more about Total Materia. Even if you're users, even if you're non-users, if even if you're students, just for curiosity, you can contact me. You can ask some technical questions or anything you want to know. Basically, here's our web page where you can see in the resources tab, we have guided tours, which gives you a lot of short videos for smart comp, let's say, or if you want to know more about predictor, we have different short videos here prepared. We have another option I would like to share with you, and I will actually send you the details about our uh, user manual. Basically, you can make some searches here functionalities of Total Materia, you can understand better how it works. If you want to know by yourself, if you don't want to contact me and ask me some questions, we have so many informations here that you can reach how it works basically, and SmartCom Material Console, and here's the basically Total Materia Horizon. If you want to know more about green line or anything you want to know, we have information. We have very good customer stories. Some of them, of course, some of them are still on approval. They will send us, and these are some of our users. They're sharing their experiences in Total Materia. We have thousands of users, as I said. You can filter here by country or by name of the kind of user, like Ferrari. If you are in Formula One, Ferrari is using Total Materia. Okay, and some other very well known name here. You see, you can check. Well, fast alternates and toxicological profile of plastic are these. I'm reading a question, by the way. We have a lot of questions. Hopefully, I'll be able to answer all of these questions. To see, plastic, are these accessible? Yes, accessible. Mr. Sabramaya. One more question, please. FMD's full material declarations for raw materials. Yes, 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 we do. And still, remember, you can get a technical support in case if you're not sure all this information. You can contact me. I'll forward your questions to our technical support. Technical support is just finding this question is related to Greenline team. They're directly sending to our Greenline product owner and team leader, and they're answering properly to these questions. Hi, Alan. Exist any limitation in Total Materia? No, does not exist any limitation. You're welcome. Please do not hesitate to contact us for technical support, for asking some questions. Use my mobile number. You can contact me via WhatsApp or send me an email. I want to see, I want to test, I want to just get some trainings for free. Why not? Knowledge is power, and that's what we are providing basically. Mr. Lapoli is asking, does it overcome an fuzzy logic to predict mechanical properties of the material? No. During aging, no. We have a lot of information about materials. Uh, well, aging process, which predictor teams who they're building this algorithm to making precise calculations. They are making a lot of tests. They are metallurgy engineers. They understand the materials, behaviors, like in aluminium, let's say. In some aluminiums maybe, but so many of these aluminiums, you cannot make predictions over 300 centigrade, right? Because it's gonna melt down basically. So I mean, that you cannot make this estimation according to, law. It's not logical. So they are preparing the algorithm. They're training the algorithm in that way to give you the precise results. Well, yeah, during aging, of course. Fuzzy logic to predict mechanical processes, but well, yeah, I mean, it is huge, complicated process. That's why it took 3 years for us to prepare this algorithm and put the predictor online. And remember that I can proudly share this is predictor 2.0. I mean, second edition on Total Materia's predictors, well, it's updated, and constantly they are working for new version to fixing some issues in case if there are some non-accurate predictions, right? So these informations are very, very valuable. And Mr. Mohan, do you have any questions that you can ask if you want? I will send you a message. Basically, please send your questions. Let me see the list. Mohan MN. If you have any questions, please do not hesitate to contact us. Mr. Kadatalapali, I'm sure I am terribly sorry if I spell your name incorrectly, but uh, feel free to contact me. If you don't have access to the material, you're free to try, free to test. And if you're doing material testings, by the way, you can collaborate with us. You can compare your own actual material tests with predictor results. Then you can just give us approval like, okay, this test results or these predictions are accurate, non-accurate, whatever. All right. We are always open for any kind of cooperation because we are doing this work with some universities in Italy. We started, and we're going to do this in some universities in Canada and United States and Germany. We're discussing these collaborations in Turkey also. We have some universities that are interested to make these collaborations. And please, here's another question. Can we customize the material of powder metallurgy? Well. Still, powder metallurgy is another question, but you can go by chemical composition of the material, Mr. Mohan. You know, you're typing the chemical content of this material and base element you're choosing, then choosing different calculations methods. You'll be able to see this short video and predictor. Resources and predictor. You're just typing the chemical composition of material and you can get it one prediction. And then you're going back to this chemical composition. Again, you're making changes and asking predictor to make another estimation to compare these estimations according to different chemical compositions of the material, right? That's how you can customize material, basically. And powder metallurgy is a little, I know. Yeah. And we have so many 3D printing materials, including metal, non-metal, and polymer materials, over 4,000 materials that we already have. If you can find this material in the drop-down menu or searching list, you will be able to also customize the chemical composition. Let me actually show you an example. Maybe will be very useful. Well, okay, this is the platform, this is the predictor, right? You're typing one material or material group that you're typing, like basically this is where we do have a very short shortcut here, additive manufacturing material, right? Let's say we have this material, or just choose any other one. Polymers and plastics, like, okay, we have something like this. I'm just giving you an example. I'm searching this material, couldn't find it basically. It's very hard to find. And I'm typing one material just to give you an example. Could be any other material, polymer as well. When you type the material, you have the chemical composition. You can edit the chemical composition of this material. Is this
you're asking, like this is an aluminium, for instance, and I'm editing this aluminium's, content, or, you can select the base elements. Basically, according to these base elements, you will be able to find and make the changes, and to see the mechanical physical properties effect of this changes, right? You're making these predictions, can be castings, bars, forgings, rods, sheets, stripes, tubes, wires. So these are like different process products of this material. So that can give you an idea, I believe. And then if you have any other questions. Thank you. Okay. Hopefully this session will be very useful for you guys. Remember, you can contact me anytime, and I will share the recordings with you and one another recordings that we made with Professor Daria Dishpinar. It was the material topic, core of every design. This is the last webinar in 2024 for the region, but do not hesitate to contact us until the end of the year. I wish you all a good day and fantastic weekend. Thank you very much.